All right, we are back in the park. Andrew Kuhn, Geoff Gannon, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's talk about something that is going on right now. As we sit here, there's a lot of people talking about this.
Okay.
Your opinion on stock splits. So Tesla announced yesterday after the close that they were doing a 5-for-1 stock split. And I think last time I checked, the price of the stock was up like 10 or 11%.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on stock splits? Should somebody call Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett and tell them to split their stock?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, stock splits mean nothing in terms of the value of the company, but do companies tend to go up when they split their stock? It seems like that's true, that they do. Why? Because there's a perception probably that you wouldn't split your stock unless you knew about the future that it wouldn't drop by a lot. Now, you're just running the company. You don't necessarily control whether it's going to drop a lot, but presumably that means you know things about the future that way. So, I mean, people have this idea that stocks, you want to keep your stocks somewhere between, it's a little narrower range than this, but historically in the US, there's a perception that companies like their stock to trade above $10 a share, but below $100 a share.
Yeah.
Some of that's doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you go back almost 100 years or something, $100 is the equivalent of what, like about $2,000 or something in today's money. And in addition to that, people bought more in round lots and things. So that actually used to be a very difficult to buy stock and a big deal. And now it's changed that anyone could afford to pay. So it doesn't make any sense that way. But we've been in a stock that had a stock split, and it went up.
Yeah.
Good. So that tends to be what happens, because that's the perception. They usually are like, well, we announced news is just way too good and we have to split our stock and whatever. In fact, that company said that's one of the ways they reward shareholders with stock splits.
Yeah. That is true. They did say that.
It doesn't make any sense to me. They said buying back our stock, paying dividends, and having stock splits.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but that was one of their way of rewarding them.
Yeah. I mean, Tesla was up, I think, $40 billion, like the market cap today. And I think their stock market cap a year ago was $40 billion. So
right. So it depends on the information value. So does that mean that they're communicating something about their company? In their case, I don't know. Are the people running it realistic about it? Are they not promotional about it? Are they especially conservative? And do they care a lot where the stock trades?
Yeah.
I mean, if all those things are true, then if they're obsessed with that our stock has to stay above a certain price, they've historically been very conservative, and they know a lot about what the future is going to hold at their company, then that's a lot of information that you could use. That would be very important. I don't know. I mean, we own stock in NACO or something. If NACO's like, well, we got to split our stock when they're down at close to $10 or, whatever, if they split it, then that's a weird signal, right? So, like, if a company sent you a weird signal that way, that you're like, what does this mean? That could be important. Just the same thing as if they do a huge buyback, or if they do, insider buying or any of those things. But insiders also buy all the way to the bottom when they're not realistic, like Chesapeake, right?
Yeah.
So he bought all the way to the bottom, and he believed in his company, but he had no sense of what its value was or what's an acceptable level of risk or anything like that. So that's a bad signal. Yeah. So a stock split could be a good signal if it's the things I talked about. Otherwise, I don't know. But on average, I guess they have some signaling value to people that a company is not going to split its stock just so that it then falls to $5 a share.
Mm-hmm.
So if it splits at 100, it does not think that it's going to go from, so if it does a 3-for-1 split or whatever, it doesn't think it's going to fall from the 30s down to 10. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it's telling you. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to go to focuscompound.com/app to get more videos just like this. Thank you so much to everybody that subscribes, and we will see you in the next video.